we use the word backbone for our backbone. Now, what is the other term that might be synonym to the backbone that is present in the mesh that is known as? What do you think? What else should be added in the along with backbone? Any other word that we might use in searching for backbone?
Primary?
Backbone, bitte, like backbone is any other word that is used for the backbone that we can put in the
Like
search.
vertebral column?
Very good, Shamila. Excellent. Is the vertebral column. Vertebral column or the backbone. Now, all these similar terms or inventory of these words, they are going to be present. Like for, say, for example, for kidneys. What else we can use for kidneys? Like renal, or what else we can write down as nephrons. So any other word that might seem somewhat similar to that keyword or to that word that we are trying to search, we can add on in the search bar. And this mesh is basically present in the in the search engines, like in Medline, in PubMed, in Scopus, in EBSCOhost. There are different search engines in which all these mesh words they are incorporated. So that is the reason whenever you type any word in the search bar and Google tells you that the search results are in 0.11 milliseconds or something like that. So how come it is possible? How quick that Google is? Why Google is able to search all these things so quickly? Because all these words are already there in the chip of that Google or in the chip of that search bar. So they are known as keywords because these words open the lock of the literature for you, open the lock of knowledge for you. So that is the reason keyword, the term keyword is used for those words. Okay. So what are going to be your keywords in your research? They are going to be the dependent variable or the key variables which are going to be present in your research. Okay. So that is how we are putting keywords. Now this is one strategy, keywords. What others? What other strategies you might be
Ma'am, there
using?
are different ways, like when we use Google, we use Yahoo, we use MSN.
Hmm. Like they
There
are
are,
different search engines.
yes, ma'am, different search engines to get our,
Relevant literature or the
yes,
article. Okay. Now, what in fact we write in the search bar. Now, what I used to do, like when I was at your level, I used to write complete statements, complete research question or a research title that is there in my mind. I used to put that title in the search bar and used to put click on the search. In fact, this should have been written with the help of Boolean operators. As I was sharing last time, there is one strategy that is keyword. Now, how to put those keywords into the search bar? We need to join those keywords with the help of Boolean operators. Now, what are these Boolean operators? Let me just show you. They are and, or, and the third one is not. Now, what comes in your mind when we say and?
That means we are searching two variables that are regarding two variables together, which are interlinked with each other.
Very well done. Excellent. Say, for example, if I have to look for diabetes and diabetes and hypertension, right? So, in fact, what I'm telling to internet or to the search engine that I am interested diabetes and these Boolean operators need to be written in capital letters, okay? And say, for example, hypertension. So I am interested in all those my cursor. I'm interested in all those articles in which both of these variables they are studied together. So search engine is going to include all those articles, right? In which diabetes and hypertension they are studied together, and rest of the articles in which diabetes is studied individually or hypertension is studied individually, they are going to be included or excluded.
Excluded.
Excluded, ma'am.
Yes, they are going to. Let me just make this Venn diagram for you. Say, for example, this literature is about diabetes mellitus, and this literature is about hypertension. Now, what is happening here? Here is diabetes mellitus and hypertension both. So your search engine, because of this Boolean operator, and your search engine will bring you what? This overlapping path in which both of these studies they are studied, so both of these diseases they are studied together. So all those in which they are studied separately, they are going to be excluded. Right? Now, the next Boolean operator is OR. So when we use AND, basically what we are trying to do, we are trying to narrow down our search. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Your,
ma'am.
your search is now narrowed down. Otherwise, if you write down this on PubMed or any Google, so you will get hundreds and thousands of articles. So do you really think that we can read out all those articles?
No, ma'am.
It is not possible at all. So the starting in the article, like reading one article in a week, I don't think give very ambitious target that you should read at least two articles in a day or one article in a day. Even that is difficult. Once you will start reading, you will realize that reading article is very difficult. Now, at times we read article and we don't really understand the first go. So we need to read it twice, thrice, three, four times, five times. At times, six, seven times we need to go through that article. Because article writer or research writing is altogether different from what we write generally. So to comprehend that and to understand that, we need to give ourselves little time and space. That okay, so but once you will be onto it, so you realize that the time is going to be lesser and lesser, and more content you will be able to comprehend in a shorter time period. But to begin with, I'll give you some practical targets that at least take one article for 1 week and try to read that. Try to read it out that what in fact author is trying. And if you are smart enough, you can understand better. And so you can even make two articles in a week or three articles in a week. So it's just up to your capability. But to begin with, we can always take some doable targets, take one article and try to read it out because otherwise it is very difficult. And all these strategies, they are there to make your search narrow. This and Boolean operator is that whenever you are trying to make your search narrow. And I'll tell you one another strategy that is known as skimming. And that will make your job easier whenever you are reading the articles. Now, coming back to this whole and is going to narrow down our search. So the next Boolean operator that is used is not. So here, in this case, you are telling search engine that I'm interested in diabetes mellitus, not hypertension. So what does this mean?
Articles only related to
Diabetes.
one will.
Very good.
Yes.
Diabetes mellitus, they will be taken up. And all those which are in combination with any other disease or which are in combination with hypertension categorically you have mentioned, so they are all going to be excluded. So just diabetes mellitus, it would be included. So search engine will find you all the articles in which diabetes mellitus is studied. Okay. Now both of these Boolean operators and or not are there to narrow down your searches. But what happens in or? At times what happens that you say that ma'am, most of the students they come to me कि जी मैम मुझे तो सर्च कर रही हूँ मिल ही नहीं रहा, hardly I can find one or two articles or things like that. So what is the most important thing to do, that you try to link it with different keywords and try to find out. Say for example, I did my research, one of my research is on antenatal counseling and breastfeeding practices. So to begin with, I was really facing a lot of trouble in finding the relevant literature. So I had to put different words like antenatal counseling, or pregnancy, or antenatal counseling, or breastfeeding. So all these strategies you need to make use for making your search wider and bigger. So whenever you are making use of this word or, so you are trying to make your search wider and bigger. So the search engine is going to bring you all those relevant articles in which either they are studied together or they are studied separately. Similarly, in this particular, if you write down comorbid depression or diabetes mellitus, so this means that comorbid depression and diabetes, whenever they have been studied alone or together, all searches they will be in front of you. Diabetes mellitus or hypertension, so whether they studied alone or together, all they will be taken for you, right? So especially for unusual research questions, uncommon, some of the questions they are very common and frequent. So for infrequent and rare study topics, so we are going to make use of this Boolean operator or. I hope all three of them they are clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now once you
Ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम और का रिपीट कर दें प्लीज.
or bitte whenever you want to make your search wider and bigger, right? So in that particular case, the way I gave you the example, like if you want to investigate comorbid depression with diabetes mellitus, right? So at times it is like you might not be able to find much literature on this. So in that particular case, you can always write it down: comorbid depression and diabetes. So search engine is going to find you all the articles in which both of these are studied together. But at times, if you are unable to find it this way, so you can always write down comorbid depression or diabetes mellitus. So in all those searches in which comorbid depression has been studied with diabetes mellitus or without diabetes mellitus in their own individual capacity, all the literature it will be filtered out for you by the search engine. So this or is what I'm trying to say, that or is basically used whenever your search question or your research topic is a little infrequent, rare, uncommon, and you are not able to find much literature on that. So we make use of this Boolean operator or. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now let me just take you back to my. Let me just open up my presentation so that we don't really miss out anything. Okay, fine. So, what is this? This is this search bar. This slide is telling you about literature search. So, what this picture is, I think I have told you earlier also.
Word cloud.
Very good. This is known as word cloud, and it is one of the data presentation strategy for
Qualitative research.
very good for qualitative research. So once you will do that, so we make use of these pictures and diagrams very commonly. So the strategy that is behind it is the word cloud strategy. You get words from the qualitative research and you put them into the software and you go and you get this. Okay, so what is literature search? It is basically something that is purposefully we are trying to search some sort of information and literature in a particular feed from the internet. Now, this should have been done in a systematic way. We need to do it. No, it should not be haphazard. Now, what do I mean by this? That internet is full of all sorts of literature, all sorts of information. At times we get stuck into this pool of information that we find out in the internet. We just move on, and at times we just miss out the starting point. Have you ever experienced this? This is what exactly happens if you start searching something on Facebook, or if you are sitting on you have opened up your profile and you just move on. You open one thing, then you get into another, and you just forget that why I started and with which what was my starting point, what I tried to search initially. So this is what exactly is happening in the case of literature search also. You start with one article, you read it up, then you open up something different, you get into that detail, and that. So for that purpose, it is very important that you stay targeted, you stay focused. Now, how can you stay targeted and focused as far as your literature search and pertinent to your own field and topic is concerned? So the best thing is that you take out all the relevant articles, you download them, you copy them, and you create a folder, and then you read them out one by one. All right. So, and if the literature that you could find out is less, so what are the other strategies? How can you enhance your search in the relevant topic? One thing is that you can make use of these Boolean operators. What else?
From different search engines.
Yes, okay, different search engines you can explore. Okay, what else? Now, say for example, you have got 4 articles or 3 articles related to one topic. Now, what we can do to enhance our search? Gee.
मैम उन आर्टिकल्स के रेफरेंसेस से जो है ना फर्दर आर्टिकल सर्च करके.
Very good. Is this Sadaf? Sadaf told me this?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well done. Okay, this is brilliant. So we can always make use of the references which are given in their bibliography, in their reference list. So you just that is the reason those references they are provided at the end of the article. That if anybody wants to go into further detail, they can make use of those articles. So that is just brilliant. So at times students just say कि जी नहीं हमें तो मिला ही नहीं, we are unable to find out any relevant literature. So this is how you take a start. You move from one, then another, and this is how things move on and they go on and on. Okay, so this is another strategy. Now then there is one another way of getting your search enhanced. At times students they just get hold of abstracts, we don't really find full text articles, and that article is very much relevant to their pertinent topic, and students say कि नहीं ma'am I'm unable to find, but this article I've read the abstract, it is very much relevant to my research. Then what we should do? Then what we should do? If you can just find out abstract, how to get the full text?
मैम आपने एक साई हब का बताया था.
यूज कर सकते हैं.
Very good. So there is one search engine that is Sci-Hub, and you can always write down the author's name or the article title or the DOI numbers. You can. What else we can do? Any idea? Any idea that we can do? Yes. We can always write an email to the corresponding author. because in every article there is the address of the corresponding author is shared, and email is always written, so you can always write an email to the corresponding author and request him for sharing the full text article, right? This is one strategy. And at times there are certain publishers who take the copyright for that article from the authors whenever it is an open access. So we just there is one option for the research article, that is open access. So open access means that anyone can get an access to that article. But in some of the publishers and in some of the search policies, we just switch the copyrights to the publisher or to the editor of the journal. So in that particular case, we are not allowed to share that content. Even we might be the authors. Now, there is one article of mine that is published with Elsevier Sign Direct. So now, although they send me an individual link for the full text of the article when it was published, but the rest of the readers, they had to buy that article for reading. Okay, so in that particular case, even being an author, I'm not authorized to share that article in full text with the rest of the readers. So in that particular case, either we have to log in, we have to register, we have to pay the money, or you can always write an email to the editor that I'm so and so, and I would highly appreciate if you share this article and all. And they give special discounts and special offers are present for the students who are undergoing any degree program. Okay, so that is another strategy through which we can get full text, and I can guarantee you that people in the West, they are very liberal, they are very open-hearted, and they feel more than happy to share the content. So, but unfortunately, in our part of the world, if you may write 10 emails to an author and they will never get back to you. Okay.
Ma'am, no replies.
There is no reply at all. We don't really bother giving answers or sharing anything. If you just request somebody that I found your article very much relevant to mine, and if you can please share your questionnaire or a tool for the information and all, you will never get the response back. But I was rather I'm doing that research related to critical thinking, and I just wrote an email to the people who created that tool for the critical thinking and all, and you won't believe that within minutes they replied. They just get back to you within minutes. If they can share, or if they have to decline, or if they have to show you some other way, that even if they are declining, they are giving you the way out also, that will go on to these links, get hold of this material, or you can read this relevant material. So they are like all they have big hearts, and they are all willing to help us out. But unfortunately, we don't really see that attitude from our people. But we can always tap all these options whenever we are undergoing any research, or we are performing that. Okay. Now, this is what it is. Now, along with this, since now I don't know how many students they join me today, but I can always, ask my dear students who are with me right now to kindly create logins to a few of these search engines, which are very, very wonderful. One is ResearchGate, and I'm sure someone of you might have already created logins. ResearchGate, right? Then there is Google Scholar. Now they will search as they will serve as search engines for you. Then there is academia. There is academia. .edu. And then there is Mendeley. I think Mendeley.com or something like this. Now, these are wonderful search engines, okay? All four of them. Mendeley, Academia, Research, and Google Scholar. You need to create your logins. Now, I'm on Google Scholar, I'm on ResearchGate and Academia on Mendeley. So, if you just go on to my profile of ResearchGate, you will find out all my research articles. Now, all those which are published or those who are in preprints, those who are the number of projects that I'm carrying out. So, all that information, rather, I would urge all of you to go on research. If you just write down Dr. Ume Sugra, my name is from with single M, UME and SUGHRA and ResearchGate. So, that profile will be open in front of you. Just write down Dr. Ume Sugra, Google Scholar, my profile will be open in front of you. And similarly for rest of the search engines also. So you can always find out all the literature that I've published, all these articles, they are present on that. Okay. So if you are unable to find full text articles, you can always send me a request and I can share with you the full text if that is in my capacity. And even there's only one, I think, article in which or one is under process. It's a preprint, so that is also not available. But I've tried to find to put all full text articles in my profile as much as possible. So you can always find out and all sorts of research publications, whether it is letter to editor, whether it is a case report, whether it is a randomized control trial, whether it is a cross section study, a cohort study. Almost I have published all sorts of study designs. So all of my research articles, they are present. Take a start from that. Start reading them out, and you'll find out that simple English is the best English to write your research paper. More it is understandable to your reader, more you will find out the audience, more and more citations you can earn, right? So this is how you'll take a start. So please try to create logins and register yourself onto the search engine. Now if you have entered once, say for example on academia, if your interest is say for example in mental health, now what will happen, all those authors and researchers who are publishing their work on mental health, academia will filter out all those searches and they will give you notifications that today's search for you or the today search for this week for you. So this will serve as a search engine, so then you won't have to search and sit. So academia will bring out all those relevant researches. Similarly, Menti will serve as a library for you in ResearchGate also and in Google Scholar also. So I'm sure you all will try to create your logins on these search engines. And similarly for Scopus also. So this is PUS, okay? Scopus. So you can always write down. I think on PubMed also you can get your PubMed is otherwise they're all very user friendly. Okay, so whether you have logins or not, so whenever you are trying to search anything, you just need to go to their home pages. But it would be best if you start creating your logins and you register yourself. They're all free of cost. None of it is going to cost you anything. And you can always upload your research materials, inshallah, whenever you will start your publication. So you can always upload your research papers on these search engines. All right. If you have any questions, you can ask, or if you want to add on anything, you can ask, okay? Why are we basically doing literature? What is the agenda behind it? Why are we doing literature search? Do you, any one of you? Yes. G, any one of you? Why are we doing literature search?
To get relevant data according to our research.
Number one, that we want to get relevant information. So that information will help us to find out one is the latest advancements, that what
Yes,
is the
latest technologies and the limitations we can see from different articles, so we can proceed on from there, ma'am.
very well done, Bitin Mariam. This is the agenda. Number one, that we want to enhance or we want to broaden our knowledge base as far as our current topic is concerned. We want to know as much as possible the current developments in that topic, the current statistics and data and all. And number two, the most important thing is that we want to learn the limitations in the previous searches. What are the gaps that have yet to be covered, right? So because their gaps are going to be your strengths, you are going to develop your rationale based on the already existing limitation. Now, this is the core agenda behind literature search. Number one, to get an insight into our topic, that what is going on, what is current, because our information might be obsolete, our information might be based on previous facts. But like for COVID, just imagine that on daily basis facts and figures are changed. For COVID vaccination, daily we are trying to we are learning something different. Oral vaccination trial started on 23rd March in Israel, and it's an Israeli American companies which are working now on oral vaccination against COVID, and they are claiming that they are highly effective as compared to the injectable vaccination for COVID. So on daily basis, we are learning something different. For how long antibodies are going to be present? How many shots of vaccination? At what particular time boosters should be given? So how can we stay current? How can we stay alive with the latest if we read the relevant literature? So this is one thing, to get a deep understanding on our topic of interest. Number two, to identify the gaps, because this is the most important thing. And what are the reasons for which we are doing literature research? G, anyone else? And it is again very important. जी बताइए. Any one of you, any idea? How do we give references? Till the time we have not read others' work. For providing references.
References.
Yes.
For providing
Yes. By providing references, what in fact we are trying to ensure?
authenticness, ma'am.
Very well done. That the facts and the figures that I'm providing in this research paper or in this dissertation, they are based on facts. They have a proper citation. There is a proper reference from where I've taken this. These are not my statistics. These are not my figures. So you are providing
Ma'am? Ma'am? I want to. अच्छा ये टीवी लगाओ. यार कितना चला 02125 02125 अरे क्या मसला है ज़ियान? मामा जानी बिजी है, थोड़ा रुक जाओ। जी जानू, यहाँ रख दें, यहाँ रख दें ना, मैं खिलाती हूँ, मैं खिलाती हूँ ज़ियान। 021252। यार हंसा, तो मुझे दे दो तुम, ना मेरे पास टाइम है ही नहीं, क्लास मेरी हो रही है।
providing learning sources, and we are trying to tell that how much homework we have done, how much literature we have searched for our topic. So these are all the reasons behind providing citations and references. Okay, so that is basically the way through which we are trying to make our work easier whenever we are searching. Okay, so these are the reasons behind doing literature search. All right. Now, what are the means of literature search? Obviously, through internet, it's a massive pool of information. As I told you, Medline online databases are there. Similarly, we have retrieval of data, as I was sharing with you, that we have local sites also, like digital libraries which are present in HTC. If your institutes, they are linked with HTC library, so you might get different digital sources. So we are also trying hard to get connected with the HTC and our library. I've given one proposal, and I'm expecting that there is a little subscription charges that you have to pay annually, and after that, students working in library, they can be connected with all the digital resources of higher education profession. So many services you are going to get, they are available free of charge. As I shared with you, that there are multiple journals present across the world which are free, and you can get literature, you can copy and download, and you can read it out. But at times there are certain journals and publishers which are paid. So the option is yours. So if it is an open access, so then you have to pay those charges, and your article is then openly available to everyone. So if you don't want to pay those subscription web maintenance charges, so then it lies in the jurisdiction of the publisher and the editorial board. So you need to seek permission before sharing any material from your article. So search strategy, as Ali very rightly told us in the beginning, that you need to choose appropriate keywords, the concept or the unique ideas which are linked with your topic. You link those with your keywords, then you find it. Okay. So confirm with the literature search is going to help you out in all that thing. That it will tell you that whether it is really a problem. So it also helps us the line or the direction of the research for us, that what others have done and what has yet to be done, as you already told me. And it is going to give you a lot of information that would it be a feasible project to carry out? Would it be relevant? Would it be duplicated? Would it be politically acceptable? Like keeping end in the mind. So literature search clarifies all those things to you that you wanted to answer in your grid for the topic selection, right? And definitely you are going to get suitable references for introduction and discussion and for the literature search, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if there is anything that is not clear so far, you can always ask, you can always give your input also. I know it's Ramadan, everyone is fasting and tired and all, but I think this would be the last session. Next week, government has announced holidays. So, I hope timetable has been shared with you, or notification has been given for the holidays, or it is not yet.
No,
given?
ma'am.
Not
No,
yet.
ma'am. This week timetable is changed.
Is not yet shared. Okay, so probably I think tomorrow or after tomorrow will be shared, will be told. So do you have classes on Fridays and Saturdays also?
Ma'am, Friday we have Ma'am
yes.
Hina's class this Friday.
Yes.
Okay, and not on every Friday.
Not on every Friday, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And Saturdays are generally off, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, keywords we have already discussed in details. The way I told you earlier, mesh is the medical subject heading, and it is in the form of a word tree and in the form of an hanging indent. Every word is coined from the other one, and they are incorporated into the search engine. So, whenever you put any such word in the search bar, so Google searches it out and finds out all the relevant keywords from the search engine, and the relevant searches they appear in front of you within fraction of the seconds. So this is basically the main terminology inventory. As I told you earlier, it is on PubMed.geo. So it is on index. This Index Medicus and Medline and PubMed, they are all the same. All right. So it's basically in the cataloging works, audiovisuals, control, vocabulary, and as I told you earlier, it is in the form of a tree structure. And it is updated annually also. Okay. So whenever even we have to write down our keywords, we need to be very very careful that it should not be layman keywords. So there should be proper keywords which are identifiable or which you can always find from the mesh inventory. So look at some of the examples of mesh headings: body weight, dental cavity, radioactive waste, kidney, self-medication, brain edema. So all these keywords they are present in the mesh database. So we can always make use of wildcards, and they are basically the symbols that expand the scope of our search. Like if you just write down patent and you are putting an asterisk mark on that, so internet is going to retrieve patents, patentable, patented, or at times, so all the relevant searches in which all that word patent is available. Like say for example, if you write down patient, so all the relevant researches in which patient, patients, patiently, so all the forms of the verb which might be present and the adverb that might be present with that, if you put an asterisk mark and a bracket, so that would be open in front of you. Okay, like this is document, document, documentary, so that would be open in front of you. Right? So similarly for Boolean operators, as I've already told you, and or not, or the bracket symbols, so it shows basically the relationship between the words or the phrases or the groups of words that we have. This would be more clear. What is this? What I told you. And is going to
At the
narrow down
middle part, ma'am,
both of them overlapping. The way I told you, diabetes and hypertension.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
and is going to bring all that in which diabetes and hypertension they are studied together. Right? Or is going to broaden your search.
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
going to find out all
Or
related.
with it or without it.
Very good. With or without it. Excellent. And similarly, not is going to narrow down our search again. So just this, not even where that is shared by anything else, and not even the other one. So this is basically the use of Boolean operators. Now, keeping this, taking this opportunity, as I shared with you earlier also, there is a technique that is known as skimming. Whenever you will read articles, you will find it a little difficult because we are not in a habit of reading scientific literature, and so they always give us little hiccups in the beginning, how to complete it. We might not understand it. The language might be a little difficult. So, how to make use of that? So, there is one strategy that is known as skimming. Now, what do we understand by this word? There is one skimmed milk also. So, try to understand that what it could be. Skimming.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Ma'am, only the relevant.
Yes, only the relevant. Very good. Skimming means shortening something or reducing something. Now, how do we do skimming? I would always urge all of you to read the abstract. Never leave the abstract, because abstract is the crux. It is the, in a nutshell, it tells you that what this paper is all about. All the relevant things, they are present in a good written, in a well written abstract. All the key findings, all the most important methodological part, they are written in abstract. So while reading the article, this is, unwise if we just taking a start from the first word of introduction till the last part of conflict of interest. So you can always read initial 2 to 3 lines of every paragraph and you move on. While reading initial 1 to 3 lines, we can get a fair idea that what this paragraph is all about, right? So, and then you move on. And similarly, what is the most important thing in your synopsis right now? That I'll be interested to know the rationale of your research. So the rationale should have been written very nicely. Then the next important thing is the write-up of the objectives. So objective writer would be there. Now, but talking in the context of this article, so you start reading the initial 2 lines of every paragraph, and you'll get all the understanding that what it is all about. Then you move to the next one. Now, in introduction, we can do this. But as far as methodology is concerned, even if it's a nicely written methodology, by reading the initial part, you can get a fairer idea that how did they proceed their research. But I always suggest students that read the methodology part in detail. Don't skim it out. Read it out and see that how did they proceed their research, because that gives you a lot of ideas. And then similarly for discussion, for the results part also, you can read the initial parts and you can get a fair idea that what could have been written in this paragraph. So this is the way to read out smartly and to read out maximum in a limited time frame. All right, it's just like that, and do read the conclusion. I always tried to read the conclusion in the initial go after reading the objectives. So, what conclusion tells you?
Ma'am, it has a limitation part.
Limitation part is generally better written in discussion. In the last paragraph of discussion, you
Yes,
write
ma'am.
the strengths and limitations of your research. In
Yes, ma'am.
conclusion, how do we conclude? And what generally, while concluding, say for example, if you
Ma'am, the
have
way
to,
forward or the recommendations?
yeah, way forwards and recommendations are different from conclusions. When we conclude, basically we conclude our objectives. That whether I could meet my objectives or what I found out in my objectives in my research. You answer your objectives in conclusion. Like if it was comorbid depression and diabetes, so you are going to tell that okay, there is a high prevalence of comorbid depression in individuals suffering with diabetes mellitus. Or you can always write down the statistics that it was 25% of the type 2 diabetics, they had a comorbid depression. So that is the conclusion. You are concluding in conclusion, basically you are answering your objectives. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Say, for
ma'am.
example, if you are reading a mystery book, or if it's a murder story, and it's very inquisitive, and you are unable to find out who was the murderer. So, what you should do? And you really want to know that who did that all. So you don't have time to read it all. So what generally we do? We go to the last page.
End
So
of it.
and,
Last part.
yeah, the end of it. So this is what you can always do. If you have read some objective and you have found that okay, what could be the outcome, what they found out, so you can always read out the conclusion to get an idea that what they concluded, what they found out, did they meet their objectives, what results were present, what was in a nutshell, in conclusion, tells us all that we have done in our research. Okay, so it's there, all these parts, they are very important. And if somebody asks you, even in your thesis defense, that what we write down in conclusion, the way forward and recommendations, they are the separate components of your thesis. The way you have introduction, you have literature search, you have objective writings, methodology, results, discussion, way forward, and recommendations, and the last is your references. So this is how the trail of events have gone. So even if your thesis defense, somebody asks you that what basically you write in conclusion, so you will tell that I'm going to answer my objectives here. I'm going to write down what I found out in my objectives, in my research. All right. So this is basically PubMed is the most widely used search engine. So this slide is giving you little insight into PubMed, that what exactly it is. It is basically a combination of two words, medical publications, basically. So it is derived from that. So it was basically a project of NIH, NLM. NLM, you will find out in various. See, this is what it is. In the link also, NLM. So that is basically National Library of Medicine. This is National Institute of Health. This is basically it is US based project, and US based National Institute of Health, National Library of Medicine. And it's a kind of a catalog. It's an indexation. They are indexing, or they are giving index numbers to all good quality, high quality journals. So if a journal is indexed, this doesn't mean that it is locally indexed. It is indexed in PubMed. So locally indexed journals and PubMed indexed journals, they are totally different. I hope it is clear, because whenever I used to ask students earlier also, they used to say, ma'am, sare articles indexed. So obviously, sare journal indexed, so all journals, they might be indexed somewhere. But when we say indexed journal, we mean by that they are indexed in PubMed. So right now, there are just three health-related journals which are indexed. That is Journal of College of Physicians and Surgeons of Pakistan. Number 2 is Journal of Pakistan Medical Association, and number 3 is Journal of Pakistan Medical Sciences. Right? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
we need
Yes,
to, whenever you are giving references for the articles, it is very important to cite international literature and local literature. And as I told you, from where to find out local literature, when I ask students, वो कहते हैं जी हम तो PubMed पे search करते हैं. So what local literature you can find out on PubMed? Just these three journals. So what about rest of the 2,500 health-related journals which are published every year? So they are present on what? On which search engine? Yes, I told you earlier also. ParkMedinet.com.
yes, ma'am. Park Medicine.
www.parkmedinet.com. Pakistani local journals. Here you are going to find out, and you can always give references. So it's not that your complete thesis is based on international references. You need to cite common references also. These are another websites where you can find out your research related articles and material. Free medical journals, Harvard, Stanford, Directory of Open Access Journals, and Directory of Open and NIC. So all these, let me just show you some others. As Mariam was telling us, that Yahoo and Google, AltaVista, MSN, Copernicus, and Metacrawler. So they are all different, general purpose search engines on which you can find out. So all these are there for you, so you can always find out. I've shared these presentations with you. I hope you all have got that. Did you get these presentations?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All these sources, they are mentioned here, and you can find out. So, what is the purpose? That we really want to avoid reinventing the wheel. This means that what is already done, so try to do something different from that is already. And the agenda is to target the limitations or the gaps which are identified in the previous searches, to find out what is valuable and to provide. You get to know a lot of things about methodology, about methods while reading others' literatures. So while reading others' research papers. So all these things we are able to find out by doing a purposeful literature search. So all these things, medley dissertations, even dissertations, if you are lucky enough to find out very relevant dissertation to your thesis work also. So you can always make use of that. So these are a few of the windows that I'm going to show you now. So this is how the Google Scholar looks like. This is the search bar. Here you can write down the key bars, keywords, and you join them up with the Boolean operators, and you'll find out very very relevant, searches inshallah. So this is Free Medical Journals site. This is your College of Physicians and Surgeons of Pakistan. This is how their site looks like. And then we have a very extensive database that is known as Cochrane. So Cochrane collaborations are seen like this in the Cochrane library. And in the end, I would be sharing with you the essential components of a scientific paper. Now, this will help you out, inshallah, once you'll be in a position to write down your own research paper. But they are equally good for your dissertation write-up also. This is the most commonly used component. Introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, and references. So we call it as IMRAD. So this is basically the sequence and the agenda in which we write down our research paper. So it is different from the dissertation writing, because in dissertation we have to write down introduction, detailed literature search, then objectives, materials and methods, results, discussions, and references. So research scientific paper writing is far less as far as the number of words are concerned as compared to dissertation writing. As I told you that in thesis it has to be around 10,000 words, but in writing a scientific paper it should not be more than 25 to 2700 words. So this is basically the Gantt chart. We'll find out, you can always make it on a Word document also by putting these tables. And
Yes, ma'am.
what is this Gantt chart and what it helps us to do? What is this Gantt chart?
Ma'am, it tells us about when we can monitor our activities over the time period.
Very good. We can monitor our own progress. We can monitor our own research activities, that whether I am following the timelines, whether I'm meeting my timelines, whether I'm lacking behind, whether my pace is good enough. So this Gantt chart is very important, and all of you will have to make a Gantt chart in your synopsis at the end. Okay, so this is how we go on, and a very good luck to all of you from my side for your thesis work. And if there is any question that is not clear to you from the past sessions that we have covered, so you are more than welcome to ask me. Ji, any one of you, or it might be related to your own topic of interest, because I'll be covering, I'll be taking your formal session on topic selection next time, and from that onwards, I would urge you to start drafting your formal proposal. Now, as far as your supervisor assignment is concerned, there are few hitches. I think I've heard that government is going to open up universities from 19th onwards. So, what if we meet and then by that time we'll be having time to think over topics, and then afterwards you can always bring me your topics after discussing your supervisors and after discussing it with me. So I think we should do the random or the lottery method, and on campus would be the best, because there shouldn't be any concerns or queries and questions related to that allocation of supervisors.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Okay, ma'am.
So, from the last sessions that we have covered, if anything that you want to ask me, anything that is not clear, or any input, any feedback, anything that you want to share. Jean. All of you have started working on your topics?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me one thing. How many of you have ever published any paper or any of the background in research before?
Ma'am, me.
Me, Ikra, good. You have published. Ikra, you are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you publish your optometry thesis paper?
मैम नॉट माइन, लेकिन मेरी फ्रेंड का था तो हम लोगों ने उस पर मिलकर वर्कआउट किया, वो पब्लिश किया। मेरा ईद के बाद इंशाल्लाह होगा।
Okay, great, very well done. So in which journal? Al-Shifa Journal of Ophthalmology?
नो मैम, एन इंटरनेशनल जर्नल, यूरोपियन जर्नल है मैम।
So what is that? What's the name of that journal?
मैम एक्चुअली यूरोपियन जर्नल ऑफ बायोमेडिकल एंड फार्मास्यूटिकल साइंसेस।
Okay, fine. So is it indexed? European Journal of Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Sciences. So
Yes, ma'am.
who were the co-authors with you?
मैम माय फ्रेंड्स एंड कलीग्स।
Your friends and colleagues. Okay, fine. Very
Yes.
well done. And you are looking forward to have your article published after Eid, inshallah?
यस मैम, इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह।
Very well done, Ikra. This is wonderful. G.
Thank you,
Who
ma'am.
else has published? Ali, have you published? You were working on a paper, right?
Ma'am, actually, I'm working on it. I'm in the process. Inshallah.
Okay,
Very soon.
right. This is okay. Very well done. Excellent. So that paper write up or paper publications on your credit, it will give you a lot of benefits in your future prospects, inshallah, in your future growth. So you should always try to look for some research project and work on that project and try to get it published. Okay, because the number of publications on your credit, they are going to create a difference for you. It is going to create a difference between you and other people. So that's why whenever I ask my students to bring me a research topic, I always ask them that keep the end in the mind that my agenda is to get it published. It shouldn't be a part of my dissertation and library. So my task would be finished once I'll get it published somewhere. Right? All right. So no questions, nothing that you want to ask.
मैम आई वांट
जी बिल्कुल बोले बेटे।
मैम मैं मलेरिया पे काम करना चाहती हूँ, प्रिवेंटिव साइड पे। मेरे जहन में था प्रिवेंटिव साइड पे मलेरिया से रिलेटेड टॉपिक। मैम कैन सजेस्ट मी सम गुड टॉपिक्स।
बेटे इसका सबसे मलेरिया इज समथिंग वेरी वास्ट and this is so you want to look into the preventive strategies used against malaria in your sector. You live in Balochistan, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you want to see that now we have a malaria control program also at a government level. So and there are, I think, 8 to 12 objectives of that malaria control program. You just go through that malaria control program, and so in that particular case, look for the preventive strategies. You can always assess that what preventive measures or what precautionary measures they are taken by the community against malaria. Although there is lot of mass media campaign also that how to keep ourselves protected, use of propellants, use of mosquito bed nets, when we should go out for the work, while going out, what we should be wearing, full sleeve clothing and all. So you can always look into that, but how would you get to know that it would be a nice idea to do research in this regard? How would you get to know? Through?
Sorry, ma'am.
How would you get to know that I should do research or what already work has been done in this? How would you get to know?
मैम वही समझ नहीं आ रहा कि
तो बेटे वो इसलिए नहीं आ रहा. Have you done literature search on it? What
Ma'am-
work has been done in this regard?
मैम लिटरेचर रिव्यू आज आपने पढ़ाया तो समझ आया कि
Okay, fine. So from today onwards, what you will write down malaria and preventive strategy, right? Preventive strategy in Bhutan or preventive strategy in Balochistan. So you'll find out bundle of material on that. Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
this will give you a lot of insight. So this is my suggestion. So have you undergone malaria control program of Pakistan?
नो मैम
उसको भी पढ़े because it's a wonderful document, and in their learning outcomes you will find out, or in their objectives of that program, so you will get lot of material related to the preventive strategies, how to curb the breeding places of the mosquitoes, what to spray, what not to spray. Okay, so that will give you lot of insight. Okay.
मैं मतलब ये टॉपिक अगर हुआ तो मतलब रिजेक्ट तो नहीं होगा ना, एक्सेप्ट तो होगा अगर
देखो Bakul, it is going to be based on your objective. The topic is something big. Now, in that topic, what particular aspect you are going to study in your research? So that will be the title. So what in fact you are trying to look in this malaria control program? So it's a preventive strategy. So you need to formulate a title out of that topic. This is your interest. This topic is your interest. Okay. So why would it be rejected if you have given a good rationale, if you have created a base, if you are familiar with your topic? This is the reason. You have got one thing in your mind and you go to your supervisors कि अच्छा मैं ये करना चाहती हूँ, ये चाहता हूँ. They ask you two questions and you are bulldozed there because you don't really understand, you don't have understanding about your own topic. How to develop understanding? Through literature, through reading literature. Because otherwise I won't be able to give you all the statistics, because how would you get the statistics? Through statistics we are going to create a rational, or we are going to build the case for our research, that how much severe, what is the mortality going on through this dengue and malaria, how much morbidity is caused, what is the positivity rate, why is it important to study malaria in my setup. Now, this question you need to be answered before going to your supervisor or before coming to me. I'll tell you all the ways out that, okay, the way I've told you that go to that site, read out this material, put this word in your search bar, find out literature, and then come out.